Ladies and gentlemen, the federal investigation into Caligula, Biden's son Hunter, his taxes, not only his taxes, but also the business entities that he worked with, and other issues, potential laundering. I'm not making any of this up. See, when many, I shouldn't say all, liberal Democrats, when they hear that, somebody's being investigated associated with Biden, they say, no, couldn't happen here. Justice Department's interest in Hunter Biden covered more than taxes. Federal prosecutors have also investigated foreign ties, possibly money laundering. This is by Ben Schreckinger, December 9th, 2020. What does that have to do with today? Well, it's heating up. Incidentally, really quickly, they're still going at Trump. This is hilarious, for being a Russian operative. That was completely and utterly debunked. That was the most absurd tinfoil hat theory, and they're still The Guardian, the perfect target. Russia cultivated Trump as an operative for 40 years, ex-KGB spy. So this is the way Democrats, media, a great many liberal Democrats work. They, in the most absurd, hilarious manner, accuse President Trump of working with Russia to purchase Facebook ads and to infiltrate the DNC to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated, thus forcing Debbie Wasserman Schultz to resign in disgrace in 2016. Of course, we know that Democrats would never, ever do anything like that. Anyway, the perfect target. So this is hilarious. Russia cultivated Trump as an operative for 40 years. This is just 10 hours ago in The Guardian. The Mueller probe found nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nobody was indicted on working with a Russian intelligence official. Julian Assange should be free. He's a publisher protected by the First Amendment and whistleblower laws. He should be free. He was never indicted or charged with working alongside a Russian intelligence official. Nobody was. Nobody associated with Trump was ever charged or indicted or accused in a court of law of working with Russia. It never happened. They got people on process crimes. So they get this investigation. That's why you have a special counsel, a Durham probe special counsel, because they utilize the United States government against an incoming president. They're the ones who tarnished and tore apart norms and traditions. But here, for goodness sake, watch yourself. Biden warns family over business dealings. Don't you love? So Politico, I actually like Politico, even though it's in the tank for Democrats. I like Politico. This is just a couple of hours back. I love so hit subscribe to this channel right this second. We're on our way back to 200,000 plus subs. If you want to read my writing, you can go to hagoodman.com to read my writing on The Hill, the Huffington Post Salon, the Jerusalem Post, the Federalist, the Daily Caller. You can see my debates. For goodness sake, watch yourself. Biden warns family over business dealings. This is the hilarious part about this article headline. The business dealings are directly involved with the Hunter Biden tax probe, Biden's son Caligula, which directly implicates President Biden himself. So with Trump, they had zero money flow, zero business deals that were scrutinized or led to any prosecutions. Notice how you have a billionaire who becomes president, and they can't get him. Like, the only thing they can possibly try to get him on is taxes, and they still haven't. The IRS has his taxes, but they still can't find anything on Trump. They impeached him for something that he's protected, the First Amendment protects his political speech, so they impeached him on something they couldn't get him in a court of law on. The mayor of D.C. and the attorney general of D.C. have never leveled charges against President Trump for the tragedy that took place weeks back. He was never found in a court of law, nor was he accused of working with a Russian intelligence official. The whole thing was fabricated nonsense from James Clapper and Brennan. The United States government converged upon an incoming president that they didn't like. So President Obama's administration, utilizing the intelligence community, and media, because they filtered all this nonsense through liberal publications. BuzzFeed published the Steele dossier, the epitome of fake news. And they said, well, we're going to let readers decide. There were no fact-checking organizations going wild over claims within the Steele dossier that were debunked immediately. The whole thing was fabricated nonsense. The issues pertaining to Biden and him selling access to the vice presidency, these are issues that should be investigated, that are being investigated right now. These are issues that warrant suspicion. Trump was always a billionaire. He didn't need any help from any despot anywhere. Okay, he never did. It was the Clintons, through their foundation, who received money from Uranium One. And then miraculously, President Obama allowed the sale of 20% of U.S. uranium capacity to eventually be sold to Putin. But they spin everything. Oh, well, you can't prove this, you can't prove that, that was just a coincidence. To Democrats, it's entirely coincidental. It's just a coincidence that Uranium One gave money into the Clinton Foundation and President Obama did not veto the sale of American mines, uranium mines, to a company that was eventually purchased by Putin. That was just all coincidence. But the Steele dossier is very accurate. Now we have, finally get to it, for goodness sake, watch yourself, Biden warns family over business dealings. He takes a 10% cut according to one of the emails. He's directly implicated in all of this, which is why you're going to get impeachment. You're going to get Biden impeached like within a nanosecond of 2022 when Republicans take the House. And he'll actually deserve impeachment. Because the man is not only the definition of compromised, he came in with $300,000 in financial net worth, left with $10 million. Where did the money come from? You know Trump has been in real estate forever. Then he had The Apprentice. Where did Biden's money come from? He's a lifelong politician, so how does he become a millionaire? They say through books and speaking engagements. Have you heard him speak? Have you heard the man speak? So it wasn't speaking engagements, but here. Still, one brother discussed new venture with major donor before Biden entered the White House. So nobody's really talking about this in media. Politico is. There are good journalists at Politico. Politico is still very much in the tank for the Democratic Party, but it's probably the most objective. There are better journalists at Politico than at the Washington Post or New York Times. That's without a shadow of a doubt. And you get Politico publishing Ben Shapiro. So they're not like complete fanatics like the Washington Post and New York Times. And still in the Washington Post and New York Times, you get some good journalists here and there. But here, in the midst of his campaigns for president, Joe Biden took his younger brother Frank aside to issue a warning. Oh, I love this. For goodness sake, watch yourself. Biden said of his brother's potential business dealings, his brother's potential business dealings are only, they are predicated upon Joe Biden being vice president and then eventually president. That's the only reason people, and this is hilarious too, the only reason Biden's brother and son made boatloads of money is because of him. It's not like, okay, this is not about nepotism. President Trump can have Ivanka or Kushner or Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr. as head of a hotel or his business holdings, whatever. That's nepotism. Like, okay, it's a family business. We're going to help you, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. What Biden did was something wrong. You're the point person on Ukraine, and your son is on a corrupt energy company in Ukraine, and Democrats don't see any conflicts of interest. And now we're finding out today Politico is great, but it's kind of like this fluff piece, like, Biden's warning his family, stop making money, with your business dealings. I don't want to be part of your malarkey. I'm president of the United States of America. I mean, if you engage in malarkey, it'll look badly upon me. That's exactly why they have business dealings. This is why Twitter is going to tank eventually. And it's been tanking the past couple of months, especially since they banned President Trump, which actually turned out to be the best possible thing for President Trump and the worst possible thing for Twitter. But Twitter banned any discussion, suppressed, censored any discussion of the Hunter Biden investigation. Why? Biden's son Caligula deserved to be investigated. His emails, which, I mean, Democrats from Clinton to Biden's son, they can't type an email without incriminating themselves. And they have the entire American political public relations machine. If you watch Bill Maher tonight, I mean the whole theme every night, but I just caught a little bit of it. It's, you have to make Republicans do the right thing. It's just always like Bill Maher's always so dripping with this. It's like this sappy, self-righteous, morally superior indignation and condemnation of Republicans and Trump. And it's like there's an article in Politico that I'll eventually get to continue reading that basically is like Biden's warning his brother to do the right thing when the whole thing centers around President Biden, not his brother. That's the whole point of this. Democrats convinced themselves that just because media covers up all their crimes and potential criminal activity and duplicitous and unethical activity, that it doesn't happen. The reality is that it's happening, and you could see it's in plain sight within articles like this one. For goodness sake, watch yourself, Biden said of his brother's potential business dealings, according to a person with knowledge of the conversation. So when it was the Trump years, President Trump's tenure, according to people with knowledge, they said Trump, wished harm on the entire planet, according to people with knowledge. But according to people with knowledge, the only gossip and hearsay with Biden is that he's just trying to tell people to do the right thing. Come on, man. Hey, smile. Come on, man. Hey, brother of mine. Come on now. Do the right thing, man. Come on. I mean, I love how the hearsay is just always, oh, God, do the right thing. Don't get sucked into something that would, first of all, hurt you. Oh, he's thinking of his brother and his son's welfare and well-being. What a good person. Gosh, this definitely has nothing to do with Biden selling access or at best, getting people to think that they have access to the highest levels of the United States government. When you have emails saying, hey, Caligula, thanks for helping us meet your father, the sitting vice president. Or, hey, can you help us with using your influence to help the company? And, I mean, you have Tony Bobulinski talked about business deals where they were banking on the Biden name. The Biden name is based off of what Joe Biden has accomplished as a politician, as a former vice president, as the current president. Biden, whose tone was both jocular and serious. I love this. According to the person, I love how all of these people come out and only hearsay and gossip, which is journalism today, happens to be good. Don't you know a source was saying that Biden came out and told his family, you better be careful, definitely don't tarnish the family name or hurt yourself. Because I'm Joe Biden and I don't approve of anything that's could potentially be a conflict of interest. And this is hilarious. Biden, whose tone was both jocular and serious, according to the Democratic operative, seemed to know then what is becoming painfully obvious. His family business ties threaten to undermine an administration whose messaging is centered on restoring integrity in the White House. Okay, there was far more integrity with Trump than there is with Biden. Far more. If they went after Biden in the same manner they went after Trump, you would get indictments for the crimes that they'd be accused of. So, trading access for money, they went after Trump on the emoluments clause, which was thrown out by the Supreme Court. The emoluments clause, he had existing businesses that didn't need the presidency or didn't need politics. You have Biden's son and brother making money, and they've been making money off his name for years. Off his name as a politician. That's what the emoluments clause is all about in the Constitution. You can't receive favors or gifts or money for access to the United States government, which is what the Clintons have been giving for years. All media needs, since there's such a liberal bias, it's unbelievable, is a foundation, and then they funnel money. So if you want to give to the Clintons, you go through the Clinton Foundation, which does a lot of good things, and then you get beneficial treatment. Whether it's Boeing or Haiti, or Haiti, the $10 billion was raised. Where did that money go? But Boeing, UBS, that was a big one. This is a long time ago when the Atlantic actually did journalism. They talked about, it was the Atlantic, it was the Wall Street Journal also that talked about that. They got hooked up UBS with huge favors for money through the foundation, so they don't stuff the golden muumuu or Bill Clinton's pockets. People have gone through the foundation, weapons deals, and this is while Secretary of State Clinton was using private servers to hide her communication. Almost certainly the emails that she deleted were emails about the Clinton Foundation pay-to-play schemes. Almost certainly. That's obvious. Why do you think she was using a private server? For convenience and yoga? But see, again, Democrats live in their own fantasy world. The problem is all of political media, almost all of American politics and media, legitimizes this fantasy world and says, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. Trump worked with Russia and his taxes. So it's this gigantic, monumental sleight of hand where they're hiding all the corruption within, this walnut shell, and they're tossing it aside and they're saying, look at that one, that's just Trump. And then you lift it up and there's nothing there. But the hint, the suspicion of, tell me what they impeached or got Trump on. Nothing. They say Trump is a criminal presidency. He literally committed no crimes. James Comey had to literally cover up the litany of crimes from Clinton, and the mere notion of investigating Biden, they impeached Trump over. So they're very protective over the crimes, potential crimes of Biden. I'll put the article below. For goodness sake, watch yourself. Biden warns family over business dealings, and then New York Post, Biden warned brother over business dealings report. So the business dealings, ladies and gentlemen, are directly implicating the president of the United States, Biden. It's hilarious that media is spinning this as, gosh, Biden's such a good person. He's trying to tell his family to, cool it. His family got rich because of Joe Biden, not the other way around. Give me your thoughts below. Thank you.